Welcome back to Of Scribes and Men. To all you people who may be coming sooner or later, doesn't matter. What matters is I'm going through yet another one of these volumes, volume 14. Gonna punch these out and get them done for the week. Not all today, obviously, but volume 14 will definitely. Anyways, before I sidetrack myself, let's get into it. I ask my mind to gather peace, for anxiety to stop and cease. Yet here I am as my legs to shake, forbidden in the things to wake. To slumber now, but my mind won't stop, racing merrily to the top. Even though my body drains, what more of me until naught remains? Still further on do I seek rest, moments of stillness for my soul to invest. There are things I did not mean to give upon myself as I go on and live. So onward still seeking peace to fill, to make it part of a healthy will. For what is the reason for such stress when I am the one who created the mess? And just a checking something to give me a second. Ba ba da ba ba. Okay. This should be fine. Well, actually, hold up. There are things I feel that are quite nice, that come on in and add some spice, for such is the way of life and fate, where things do come in a positive state. Do we seek the method of a coin to toss into a field and then into the moss? Oh, what treasures will we now find, and share them all with our own kind? Peace flowing within the heart, as the melody flows within, beauty of the celestials, the maidens governing sound. Upon the lonely road, a traveler covered in dust, beyond the valleys and mountain range, walking dawn to dusk, are our moments of exhaustion caught in daily routine. This is the haunted. This is my precursor. This Sestina is my precursor to my pentaconstraint Sestina, which if you haven't seen that video yet, you should, because I go over the insanity of the pentaconstraint Sestina. This one just has one less constraint. So there's still 4 constraints, but has one less. But this would be the haunted. To whom shall it be in the mighty sea, sailors ever free among ships of 3? For what could we see from the bourgeoisie? Will we fall by fright, blinded by the light, through an eerie sight, and testing our might? Will we stand and fight, showing all what's right? What do we delight when all goes just right, as we spill the tea, drinking on the sea? Under the moonlight, with the ocean's might, through the tempest decree in the waves of 3. Winds of our foresight guiding us to light, yet could not foresee the dead bourgeoisie. Hollow was the tree with the bourgeoisie. Within misty night nothing now was right, haunting in its sight under fading light, desiring to flee, yet drowned by sea, forever to be cursed among the 3, as ghosts came to bite, draining us of might. Sent now into fight or flight with our might, with every decree of the bourgeoisie, for it was to be not 1 but 3. And what of the white that they as they stalk the right? And what of the white as they stalk the right? From the haunting glee that arrives from sea, we face the sick blight that snuffed out the light, seeking now through night's glowing sickly light, with fear shrinking, tight gripping with its might. Never meant to be lost beyond the sea, whales that come for me from the bourgeoisie, and try as we might, we can't set it right. All is set to plea of the haunting 3. One had set to see ghostly ships of 3, in cold sweat and fright dawning of the light, as they would invite, wanting to set right, upon the midnight to try with their might, yet came to be the dead bourgeoisie, who once sought to flee right across the sea. So now on the sea the curses of 3, left the bourgeoisie hidden from the light, escaped from our might, and we were never right. Honestly, that one by itself needs a bit of a more ominous tone behind it, and I didn't read it as ominously as I could, but that'll be a singular piece that I do off on the side at some point. Put on a mask, we're all fools now, just wearing a crown of clowns. Where is your promise and your vow? Put on a mask, we're all fools now. Take your exit and give a bow. Are you enjoying these soulless towns? Put on a mask, we're all fools now, just wearing a crown of clowns. As time passes, are you friend or foe? Secrets kept, one should never know. Deceive with a smile and a dagger by your side, pierce with the tip of the tongue when you lied. A splash of water across the puddle-laced streets, while walking at night, when the sinners come to play with neon signs on display. The harmony of the streets as people walk on by, nourishment of the land with rainfall from the sky. The falling melody begins the nature's dance, the steps given in rhythm where people take their chance. Joy comes in clouds of gray, embracing harmony's way, with children to dance and play, relishing in rainy days. Balance in the wet or dry, to honor until we die. We all die, I will not lie, as people mourn and cry when the light fades from the eye, while we may go and ask why. What matters in life is how we'll try. As peace flows in, we embrace, as anxiety tries to chase. Answers lie inside of our mind, and offers its hand, kind. Will rest come to those who seek it? How will it come and fit? As lines form around the eyes, will rest come upon the wise. There is a season for all things in life and all it brings. Changes come as we go and grow, some knowledge lost, others to gain and know. Even stagnation wastes away, change that comes with its dismay. Of the many who long to go and fade, through life's waters to no longer wade. Yet change still comes, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, for all things will eventually end as they go. As others go against the currents, try and fight the change that comes with all their might. We all will day and breathe. We all will one day. What? Okay. We all will say and breathe our last one day. What matters is the legacy you put down and lay. Immortalized now until forevermore, for others to come and walk through that door. Okay, anyways. Lanterns flowing in the night, with celebration in sight, lighting up the moonlit sky as blessings flying by. In this work and rest, why do we try and invest while others don't try their best? In order to show, so others may come and know, proper ways of work and flow. Have you ever been grabbed for a dance into the rain to go and laugh and prance, throwing all your cares away in the melody of the dance and play? Actually, I don't need this. I'm not wearing the right thing. Hold on. Why did I have the earphones on? Sorry, guys. There we go. Top hat missing. Upon the crystalline walls, along the snow palace halls, in the eternal winter state, the princess waits for her fate. There are many things in an endless sea, to be caged or to be free, as some come in and others out of sight, and others still go and hide with all their might. A sweet melody through the air, ever so elegant, ever so fair, bringing a sense of peace within, like harmonious kisses on the skin. Clouds moving through the land and sea, led by the current's flow, with shapes they take to guess and see in each fun mystery, as the parents try and show the way their children should grow. Elegant steps like a dancing flow, walking gracefully to and fro, with every movement and bounce, like attention comes to announce. Peace of your mind, a price for the lost, to be found at such a cost, would you give memories away for all that was forgotten that day? Fairy of the lake, will she laugh or cry? Will we be curious and ask why, to try and understand for the sake of winning her hand? An elegant dance, a courtesan among trees, whom shall you delight? Out she came to look down with a stare, tempting all with a hey and a dare. A slight tease as she'd go, with her cleavage to show, the sight of all simps shown and laid bare. Nothing appealing, just her phone, recycling content her own. For attention she'll stay, as she'd come out to play with an image she'd always had shown. They always paid attention to their flaunting, never noticing the quiet taunting of a shadow slowly growing, regret laced in their never knowing. The uncertainty of a future unknown, tales from the past, not all to be shown. Of the many things we try to be, what is the path forward we long to see? Some voices flow like fluid silk, feeling that comes like a warm glass of milk, songs that come to soothe the soul that relaxes one and all. Do we float by in a weightless space, even as gravity claims its own place? Yet it is beyond the physical state, trapped between the questions of fate. The festivities that echo across autumn, harvest is complete. Is reality real for a man in delusion, wandering around in a state of confusion, believing all things seen to be real, with echoes of illusions to reach out and feel? If I were but a clone across from where I sit, would I know what it means to finally fit in a state I cannot understand, or would he be the same as I across the land? Knowledge welcomes masters to bleed, through their craft to wield and to hone. Ideas struck, set to be freed. Knowledge welcomes masters to bleed, with lessons learned when we concede. Work of our sweat ever now shown. Knowledge welcomes the masters to bleed, through their craft to wield and to hone. They mock their fear with nothing to show, attention by hate to spread where they go, never knowing that time will forget, with echoes of a time to never be met. Not bet met, what the heck? Be met. What games do you play, acting so sly, circling around, daring men to try? What in your system will it go on to feed, like the blood in your veins that causes one to bleed? The hourglass spins as it turns, time slips away as it burns, yet here we all are as we aimlessly drift, taking all for granted by a moment's gift. Forgotten hollows, trees that lost their life and soul, the haunted forest. In whom do we see in whom to invest, watching who succeeds in our given test, like the Sphinx and the riddle, before we play them all like a fiddle. Dance of celebration, like flowing streams of water, open night markets of cheer, as food's aroma fills the air. A new year has now begun, with auspicious blessings. Fireworks in the night sky close off the ceremony. The night sky lights up in a cascade of colorful explosion, fireworks bringing in both cheer and fear and celebration. So too does my heart react to my lover's whisper in ear. What have I to do with you, O rain, that blesses and soothes like a healing rain? Our skin cracked through the desert heat and pain, as nature welcomes the kisses of the sky and rain. What shall markets and merchants have to gain under the cool of night within the moonlit rain? Will we, O mighty men, hold others in disdain, only to be cursed and washed out by the rain? Set down your sword in wrath for peace to obtain. Let it all wash off in a moment of cooling rain. Do not scream and shout as one of the insane. Let your soul be as calm as the relaxing rain. Oh, of scribes and men, of what word shall you ordain, while by the windows listening to the blessing of the rain? Cranes call upon the water, floating on peaceful streams. Ease of fish from fishers' hands, a blessing to those who give. A new birth shall come his way, the mother's gift from the bay, future secured from kindness and honor through piety. As autumn now fades into cycles of winter, transient in rest, while the seasons pass us by along the aging of time, our soul continues to move on. Sakura petals in a moment of splendor, embraced by beauty that falls softly on lovers, within its silent blessing guiding the way into life. Joy within its death, from laughing into mourning, echoing the past, yet even within endings, a seed is given its life that brings our soul into bloom. So this is the Bussokusekika. It is basically the footprints of Buddha. They are poems that were etched into. I do go over this, over some of this all in my Bussokusekika video, where you see me write all of these for volume 20. We'll get there. But basically, they were poems that were put on gravestones that essentially had kind of like a spiritual and transient and kind of like mortality-esque feel to them. There was only ever around 26-ish Bussokusekika. It's a very ancient form, like very, very ancient form. And I'm reviving it. So there you go. With respect. Reviving it with respect. Knowing what the form was made for. It's not just another haiku. It's not just another tanka. It has a very specific purpose. And that's like spirituality, transience, all of that. Deeper reflections. Lanterns set aglow into the street's midnight flow, gently flickering in a steady stream, handled by those lost to a dream, trying to be blinded by a illuminating beam. Will we ever know what it means to live, to truly know what it means to give, as thoughts wander around in our mind, wondering how we were ever so blind? Song of a siren and a silken touch, not asking for many, but asking for much, deceived by a voice with beauty to follow, now drowned into the depths until finally hollow. Soft winds that rise and blow along where the waters do flow, peace within the still lake, mirrors of the soul to take. Within a grain of sand, inside crystalline structure, a hidden kingdom. A toast among friends, within mountains, rivers, and valleys. Celebrations abound in our summertime nights longing. Who shall then rejoice beside a year in seasons passing? What have we to do in times passing, when all things come and fade to everlasting? What legacy will echo forevermore to those who dare to find and step out the door? They came upon a haunting of ghosts among their taunting, within a house with creaky doors, across the silent vacant floors. Rabbit on the moon, dressed in a celestial way, pounding his mochi. Will it still concern itself with the acts of man in lunar celebrations, to go remember his selfless act of kindness upon a deity, celestial man on the moon, fox and a monkey, all told within a folk tale of the rabbit on the moon? And yes, this is based on a very specific folk tale. Japanese one at that. Or was it Chinese? I'm going to say Japanese. Japanese one. The simplicity of pets and the joy they bring, to be unique in their way. Have we considered the love our pets all offer in ways we can't understand? Lady of the weave, luring all within her cave, tricked by temptation. Even now the street she walks with all whom have now forgot. What shall she now weave to draw in the modern man who fall to their lust? Who then is now still aware of the hidden traps in her web? Has she placed herself in positions of power to make a new den? If she has, what of the rest who have adapted as well? How can we explain what we cannot see or know as they roam the land? What then do they now desire to go claim as they beguile? Many are disguised from the season's ghost stories, using all they know. Yet fools believe they are myth from subtle whispers of silk. This is about a specific yokai. I'll let you guys guess which one. The birth of many fools raised within many schools, from systems so outdated as many have gone and stated. Whispers of the hollow tree, of all it would go and see, secrets kept within its bark, with the treasures it would mark. Would you go and flee away from what could not be, in your fear of the unknown, or let your curiosity become shown? Will we laugh at the sun or moon, or upon lovers who go and swoon, in our state of scorn, only to be quite forlorn? There are many things that come across the land, where beauty will come and then stand. Yet what animals many will then become? To addictions and desires we all succumb. Lo, what adventurers upon the ship and the sea, sailors we shall be. This would be more of a senryu, but I'll leave it as a haiku right now. But it would be more of a senryu. What tales will we laugh and see? Escapism at its best to go and be, as we drown away from life's woes, trying to ignore everything that knows. Yokai of the sea that watch from the deep below, as we go on by, never to now understand, like the secrets in our hand. Waves will come and waves will go, as surfers glide with their tricks to show, moving from beach to beach for the next great wave to reach. A gift given is a gift received among the many who believed, and in their willingness to give, showing what it means to go and live. To the skies a mighty sword, dedicated in the honor of the Lord, to attack and to defend all who would go and send. A subtle trick, thin rather than thick, for their hands to go pick, sleight of hand for the quick. Coolness of the sea breeze, washing in for a sense of relief. Sound of music echoing across the beach where people play. Yet one shall find me in a village within the fields of grass. Many shall come in their joy for each seasons to enjoy, areas where one will give, teaching then how one should live. Soldiers of the king, knights of the land, battles to be fought with blood on their hand, peace and illusion always fought to be kept, while many argue in the mountains they slept, in the moments they slept, not mountains. What the heck was I seeing? I came upon the willing, for the cups they needed refilling, with the blessing at the end of a prayer, thanking us for our kindness and care. Now this is the penta constraint Sestina. This is, as of making this, because I haven't made another insane Sestina that matches this level of insanity, and you really should go and watch the video, the most complicated Sestina ever made, because this is quite literally the most complicated Sestina ever made. It has 5 constraints on top of Sestina's normal constraints. And some of you, not a lot of you, but some of you will understand just how insane this is. I'm not going to explain it because I already have in another video. You can go and watch that one. I'm just going to read it and continue on with the volume. Would you see an eye looking from the sky? Others would then try to go and lie, while we would all sigh, watching as they die. And within their pride, all would then go hide, as others try to learn how horsemen ride. Others who try... No, it should be try. Yeah, as others who tried learned how horsemen ride. Away from who lied and into their guide. Lessons to abide, learning from their guide. Under the birds flying across the sky. Whispers to confide those whom they ride, of widows who'd cry when they're where the dead do lie. Answers that denied where those secrets hide, never knowing why men at peace will die. Taught to then apply minds of those who die, to not pick aside from those who would guide, of answers implied from questions they'd hide, of answers implied from the questions they hide. No, that's good. That's good. Of answers implied from questions they hide. With an ally under the deep blue sky, they would clarify where the answers lie, in order to guide through the journey's ride. Down the canyon side, carefully as they ride, by the cliffs nearby, so as not to die. Before the night sky to go sleep and lie, food they would provide as their job of guide. They would not deny while under the sky. Ghosts they had once eyed as they'd run and hide. Well, we set aside ghosts that come and hide within the rock slide, attacking us as we ride. They once set to die in the midnight sky, so we did reply to live and not die, to send them now to hide as we would then guide, by our Adonai whom we pray and lie. So we crucify the flesh that will lie when we pacify among those who hide. When we then pacified among those who hide. All who come to bide we shall ever guide. You may have once died among those who ride, which we would defy to never let die. Your end is not nigh under our bright sky. Our promises lie among those who ride, past those who would hide and try not to die. We shall humbly guide till the twilight sky. Yep. What does it mean to defy where life's lessons tend to lie? Will we know what it means to try before being taken? Look at me having to correct my poems as I go along this. What does it mean to defy where life's lessons tend to lie? Will we know what it means to try before being taken to the clouds and sky? Time's edge, what can it know? For even it has an end where it will go, to a place we cannot comprehend, when it's God's time to come and send. Dry leaf on the ground, once full of life and vigor, its color now fades, yet all things in time renew, moving continually as the old teaches the new. Lessons come at the end of a pen, no questions of why, only the when, all for a cause and flow, teaching many ways to learn and grow. I sought the clouds of the mighty, yet appeared instead to be flighty. So what is this courage they claim to see when most go run and flee? Who shall seduce with hips that sway? Have you come to play with my heart, fragile heart that can't be apart, as you go twirl around and play? Must I then beg for you to stay, for the sound of your laughing charm that seeks to enchant and not harm, smirk of your lips as you have fun, seeking ways to have me undone, subtly guiding me into your arm? That should be into your arm. There we go. To your arm, it should be that. Subtly, 8 syllables. Yes, subtly, to, guiding, to, me to your arm. Yes, subtly. Yeah, there we go. Subtly guiding me to your arm. There we go. See, look at me fixing my mistakes as I go on. What tidings will death bring of legends told that people sing, to know the stories that come and go, and all the things they have to show? Echoes come when least expected, when silence sings from those rejected. Where are we in our valiant goal that reaches the stars and makes them whole? Those who know the path to show, to try and teach the way to go. Simple to some, but not to all, as they stop and tend to stall. Tales of stories from the beyond, some for kids on which they're fond, all within the bard's heroic song of adventurers meek and strong. I sank too deep, far below, where none shall see and none shall go, into a place to accept my fate and finally arrive at the pearly gate. Will ye ever seek and find, as others call and claim us blind? Yet we go through hidden doors, across the tiles of secret floors. Some might go, laugh and sneer, from afar and never near, a sense of power in their hand, for they know not which they stand. We toil and struggle every day, from meek to strong in every way, to reap the efforts of what we sow, taken away before we could ever know. Before we ever could know. There we go. Laughter comes in the heart of joy, back to the time we were but a boy, where our worries would go and cease, and we would finally have our peace. Jubilation of the heart, of all things we enjoy that start, yearning to go impart. Why is a question of the curious? Why is never the state of the furious? Why is what children ask to know? Why is the reason people show? Why is the annoyance children sing? Why never what or how will bring? Why into the state of day? Through a strange curious state, like Alice asking of her fate. Did we ever wonder how things would be when music comes to set us free into a stage in which we go and move, caught in its fluid sound and groove? Worry not of when I'll come and go, for one can never truly ever know. Just continually learn and grow, so others you can go and show. Christian samurai, faith held in conviction strong, knowing the true way. This also would be a Senryu if I were to accurately tag it. I learned about this recently, was doing some more deep dive studying, and yeah. But for now, just so people can understand the progress for later on volumes, I'll leave it as is. Many things will pass and be, some we will never go and see, yet it has its own journey fair, of which it would go and dare. Imagination held in the eyes of a child, endless adventures through the wild, ask of which he might know, and the stories he might show. Will we ever know the work of a farmer's toil, as they work in the field and soil, food for all for them then to bring, thanks towards them we should sing. Battle with the Sandman for a state of sleep, for our sake and not his to go and keep. The benefit of a lengthy rest, so we can wake and truly do our best. Can we ever understand eternity in a state of certainty? Will our work go forevermore when we walk through heaven's door? And that is, that's going to be it for volume 14. Until volume 15, you shall see the Mad Poet again.